good morning, friends and family. And what an amazing, amazing day it is and going to be. As I get all finalized here, I thank you all for your patience a little bit today. Um, a little bit behind, and I apologize for that. I do my best to stay on top for you and make sure that everything is in good order and on time and timely. So I will make sure that I'm keeping it active for you. And today, wow. As you see, I'm using some of my new technology devices, but I got all my notes here for today, and I want to just hop in and talk about a session that's very dear to my heart and very important to all of us, whether that be in business, in life, in other areas that we all can improve on. But this section is so vital to our long term success. And in this session, we're going to be talking about anger management, right? And the energy that we have when we are actually angry and what it does to our psychological minds and our beliefs, our actions, our interactions, and how we can manage it and control it. And as usual, I like to, give. Yeah, all right, cool. Getting my mic all set up now. I think I feel a little bit better with this. I think you all probably can hear me better as well. So let's rock and roll. Yeah. Man, let's start it over. Nonetheless, what's up? Welcome to another Style Your Life live edition. As we do every single Friday, we talk about business, we talk about life, we talk about health, and we talk about taking your game and productivity to a higher level. And in this session, we're going to be talking about a very important topic about anger management and our mindset when it comes to our energy that we give towards being angry and being upset, and how we can change that and tame that to allow it to be valuable to our business, to our life, and to the people that we engage with. And as usual, if you haven't subscribed and liked, please do so. Please share this session with someone else. I think that this session can not only help you, but help other people that you engage with to continue to help them in their um, challenging moments that they have as business professionals, as entrepreneurs, as individuals that you interact with, because anger is a very important part of our life that we have to and must control to allow us to get to higher levels of success. And for me, I'll share with you a little backstory about me and my anger and how minimal it has been and forever will be, and how I got there. But additionally, I will also share with you, ways to cope with that anger that you may have, and how to manage the anger when it comes in those very short stints, because we have to just make it very short, as we do with many moments of our life. I've often heard the story that a fish is often one of the most happiest animals and creatures on this earth. And the reason being is that fish have very short memory spans, meaning that they don't dwell on things, right? Something happens, shark attack, they got away, moving on, right? They don't dwell and remember a lot of things. So, although the human and we as humans have such a powerful mind to remember so much information, we have to know how to tame that information and use it to our advantage and not hamper our being as we progress throughout this journey of life. I will talk with you a little bit about wow, tough to even share, experience for me growing up and seeing two different sides of anger from my parents. And, anger is just the word that I choose. I definitely have seen it in a variety of ways growing up. From mom and dad, being so grateful to be raised with both of my parents that are both amazing people that have taught me so much in life that I still use today. Some of those things that I'm able to bring and share with you. But full transparent moment, growing up, I've had the privilege of seeing my father, who was very, very calm and sometimes arguably too calm, a characteristic that I embody. And just the opposite, a mom who had moments of, being upset, being angry, being yelling, and screaming and so on. And I share that very openly and transparent with you with the intention that it can help someone, because observing it later on in life and understanding a little bit more about the context of that upset, that anger, that hurt, um, puts it in perspective to me on how I can control it and how you may be able to control it. Unfortunately, I'll pause here, and you hear it in my voice because this is a very open and transparent segment for me in sharing the fact that none of our parents had a perfect marriage. My parents are part of that, and I think with some of the non-perfect situations that they had in their marriage of not being transparent and not being fully honest with one another from time to time. And my mother that has, unfortunately been the bearer of some of that um, non-transparency and the bearer of some of the decisions of my father caused some of that anger. And unfortunately, we as children were never harmed or hurt or damaged or anything like that. But I do feel that some of that harm or hurt may have been mental. And simultaneously, we heard and experienced some of that anger through yelling, through screaming, through foul language, through, the list goes on. I laugh about it now as an adult. But you heard and you saw that anger, from my mom at times, because of the hurt that she felt and because of the experiences that she was going through. And the opposite in my father, who may have been in a situation where you know may have caused the anger, may have caused the hurt. On the opposite side, although the great characteristics of my father, his level of calm, and you know I'm not so sure if I would call it complete peace, but I will call it calm. And I rarely heard my father yell. I rarely heard my father use foul language. I'm even trying to think about if I ever I want to say yes I have, just to not say that he's perfect, because he's not in any way. There is no perfect human. But I feel that I don't recall him yelling that often. I don't recall him screaming on the phone or to other people, or in any other facet, or even to us as children. And when I saw you know both spectrums of a person that was angry regularly and a person that was never angry, it just started to give me a very cool, or what I call cool now, a very observant, arena to evaluate what states that I should carry myself in. And one thing that I often found, when seeing anger, is the energy and the persona that it brings off throughout the day. And I think that the seeing that, I'm observing that from one of my parents and observing the opposite from another one of my parents, it just so that there's so much energy that is used. And for me, when I was looking at this, I was like, I just rather keep my energy for the things that I enjoy. And I'm not to say that one person is right or one person is wrong. I think in many cases the anger that was caused, potentially. was, from my father and from the other experiences that I've seen in my life. And nonetheless, it still transpired into, energy being used and quite frankly wasted and observed on a situation that potentially could have been controlled or looked at a different way. I'm so grateful to see that, anger and frustration and upsetment being relieved and seeing so much joy and happiness, inside of my mother over time that have, got us to really see the amazing and beautiful person that she is on the inside, and got to see a lot of the genuine characteristics after it was blatantly obvious that some of those things were let go and that anger was released to just really getting to enjoy the person. And I believe that, you know, anger is something that will occasionally happen in life, but we have to be very clear on how we control that anger. And once that anger is, understood and know that we can contain it and we can control it, then people get to really see the person that we are. They really see and engage with the love and the compassion and the joy and the engagement that you want to have with other people. And I encourage and I challenge you to look at anger in a different way and not believe that you have to be angry and have to be upset and have to be mean and have to be rude, because we're all guilty of it at times, including me, right? I think the very few times that my wife and I have disagreements, there's never any yelling, there's never any cursing. I definitely think that um, many times the disagreements that we have are really quite on my fault, right? Me that shows up late, me that promises something that I don't deliver on, or or take an action of not listening, or not being present, or not being there. And quite frankly, that's my fault. And therefore there's a disagreement, there's a conversation that needs to be happened, all which could have been avoided by my simple action or lack thereof. So I share this with you because we're all a part of it. However, when we engage as husband and wife, the anger levels they're not there, right? We may be disappointed, we may be sad, we may be disappointed, etc. We may be upset for a short moment, but the anger component is something that we both are in a position to control, and I encourage you to do the same as well. What's inspiring this? What inspired this conversation this week in this Friday session of styling your life is that I listened to a great session this week on my Calm app. Many of you know that I use Calm on a regular basis. It's a simple application, iPhone, Android, etc. But I listen to the Daily Calm with Tamara Levitt every single day. And this week there was a session on anger and controlling anger. And quite frankly, it literally changed my life. It literally put so many things into context. And although we may have heard things before, it. Yes, I've read that book, I know this. And that's why it's so important for us to continue to read and continue to reread and continue to listen to regular things, because this topic on anger is something that I've heard before, but the way that she put it in context was just so valuable to me in the aspect of making sure that we understand that anger is a state that we can control, and understanding that anger is is something that we have to let go. And at the close of it, she referenced someone else. Actually, it wasn't her quote, but she referenced someone stating that, and I'll look it up, put it in the show notes, that, when you let go, anger is about letting go, right? Of being attached to that situation. Someone shows up late to work, or boss is, always whatever, and we just continue to compound that anger. We say, he or she is late for dinner, and then you're meeting your partner, or someone for dinner or an engagement. He or she is late for dinner, which transpires into they're always late for dinner, and which then transpires on they clearly don't care about this relationship, which then transpires to I'm clearly not an important person to their life. And then it just continues to compound and compress and bring the negativity on and expound it even more. And one of the most important things that she said is just be present at there, right? We don't know what that situation is, that person being late or that person being, and I use that as an example. It could be anything, whatever the topic is. Maybe they had a bad day at work. Maybe they had a bad engagement on whatever it is. But if we let that thing go and know that we can look at it from their lens, it allows us to diminish and potentially eliminate that anger that can be caused, that can be built up and rose inside of us. So the eventual statement that she got to is when we let go a little, we gain peace a little. When we let go a lot, we gain a lot of peace. When we let go completely, we gain complete peace, right? So simple, yet so profound. And I think that I came here to share that with you today. And when those angry moments come, when those opportunities come to be upset, to use energy and waste energy in areas that probably may not be necessary for a short period of time, see how you can look at it in a different lens. How can we step back, put this moment here in a place and look at it from a different perspective and say, this here could be because of this reason, because of this reason. Is it valid for me to be angry? Maybe. Should I be angry? Maybe. Do I desire to be angry? And then from there, you can evaluate and take action accordingly. Now, I could hear someone saying, okay, yeah, nice for you to say, easier said than done. I agree. Easier said than done, without a doubt, including for myself. But when you train your mind and you train your body, which is why we have these 6 a.m. sessions, you can take the appropriate action when you're using your mind and you're really proactive and intentional about being present and being appropriate for the situation. You can control the emotion, you can control your response to a situation. And when we truly put ourselves in a position to do that, it allows us to now control and tame the anger. And it's something that I've been doing for years now. I learned this very long ago, probably very early on in college. And of course, things transpire and get better, and you have your some ups and some downs. But I really, I'm trying to think about who I can give credit to this for. I, I don't know. I don't know. I don't. I want to say it was Bob Proctor, but there's so many people that I listen to. Might have been Tony Robbins, but when I look at my mentors and my coaches, um, many of those people have a very, very peaceful and very smooth and calm state. And as I'm thinking about it, I think it was Bob Proctor. Bob Proctor was one of the first people that introduced to me and, showed me how to look at anger and the energy that we give to it at a higher level. And quite frankly, when we exude anger, we simply are just wasting energy. As simple as that sounds. And and it came to me, and when I heard this from Bob, it was like, why would I waste energy? Energy is so important to everything else that I need to do in my business, in my relationship, in my, fitness, in my driving, in my whatever else you have to do for the entire 24 hours. Why would I waste energy, right? We need to, we need to consume our energy in the most optimal state. And when we give off energy and we give off a anger or upset or resentment for someone else or something, it just takes away from the energy that we can use in positive life. Now, again, it's not to say that you cannot be bothered or disturbed by certain things, but the most important thing is to make those moments very, very short, right? Feel that anger, feel that upsetness, feel that disappointment, and how could you minimize it, contain it, and control it? So I will share with you on this session as we close out to look at anger in a different way. How can we tame and control it? Because you can. A couple of things that I would recommend that you do is when you feel anger or something building up inside of you, how can you psychologically and mentally take that thing that could be making you angry, put it in a box, right? Mentally, and then place it here or at a table or place it outside of you so that, it's not in you, but you can look at it from a different lens. And when you look at that situation, that moment at a different lens, you may be able to evaluate it a different way rather than internalizing it and putting it like in your mind, in your body and say that I'm angry because of this and I. How can we take it out of ourselves and look at it in a different perspective or a different lens? So I'll share that as a tactic to do so. The other tactic that I believe is very important, that I use very often, is breathing. Right, is our breathing techniques and our breathing tactics that can allow us to calm our body, calm our state of mind, calm our state of being in that moment, so that we can truly be ourselves and not be an angry person in that moment. And the way that we go about that is, and some of you have heard this on my breathing and inhaling techniques, but take a moment of 3 to 5 breaths, and if you need longer, please do it. But inhaling for a breath of 4 seconds, and then exhaling for a breath of 6 to 8 seconds. Why do I use those numbers? Well, the reason you do that is because when you inhale and then exhale longer, it allows your body to calm down and it allows your heart rate to slow down when you're actually breathing out longer than you're breathing in. And it's a tactic that I learned many, many years ago that has helped me to be in a very calm state very often. I watch my stress levels. I watch my, energy level and peace level through my ring, my watch, and all of these things that I believe are important to keep the right state. And at this point, I don't want to. I like having the data. I'd like just again bring you back to the nerdiness and the love of technology. But at this point, I really don't need the information. Well, I like the information, but it's not a need. My stress levels on my watches and my rings and my phone and everything that's monitoring the stress, it's always low. It's always calm. And I will share with my wife this week that there are so many levels in my life, from health and fitness and wealth and business and mindset and relationships and engagements and travel, that I'm such high levels of peace in my life that I wanted, like, I don't know, I'm trying to like I find something about it, but the levels of peace that I have in so many areas of my life at this stage is just so amazing, and I'm so grateful for it. And I share that because these stress levels and monitors, they're always low and they're always at a peaceful state. And I truly believe it's because of the things that I exhibit, and I'm intentional about keeping that peace. It's not that things don't happen. It's not that bad things or awkward situations or angry moments don't pop up. But I've been trained and I've trained myself and my mind to cope and tame and control that anger and upsetness. So take that moment to do that breathing exercise. And then the last tactic that I think can be very valuable, and this one we've said before, is is knowing that the anger and the upset moments are a part of this beautiful journey of life. They're just a short moment, and that's what they are, right? So take them for that. Don't overemphasize it or internalize it to say, this person makes me angry, therefore I'm angry. This situation makes me angry, therefore I'm an angry person. Don't internalize it. Let that anger be its moment, be its segment, and move on, right? And that's how we can control our anger. I think when you get to that state, you'll be able to look at things differently. And as I share, I just see so much joy and in other people when they have and they've let go of the anger that may have been inside of them in the past, and even myself, letting go of angry moments or felt like I've been done wrong or hurt in business or relationships. And when we let those things go, it allows us to truly be ourselves. And I think that's why we do these 6 a.m. success sessions. It's about being the best you possible so that you can be valuable to the other people that you engage with, that you work with, that you serve, that you help. Right. One of the greatest thing I learned from, awkwardly from Dan Pena, right? He yells a lot, he curses a lot. But, when we're selfish with our time for ourselves, it allows us to be more valuable to the people that we serve. And what that means is that when we're selfish with being our best self, when we give ourselves our own time, when we give ourselves our own moments of meditation, of prayer, of dedication to learning, education, self-development, self-improvement, when we give ourselves that time, when we give that time to ourselves and devote time to being us, getting away from everybody else, being on a solo time, being selfish with our own time, it betters ourselves so that we can be better for other people. And I think that's so important because when we commit to ourselves, when we give to ourselves, when we're healthy, when we devote time to us and be healthy and well in ourself, our mind, our body, and our spirit, then we can truly be valuable and more valuable to other people. And I think that's vitally important. So, as we close in this session on anger management, I hope that you found something valuable. Truly, truly use this to manage that anger, control that anger, and put anger in its place because you control it, right? You can control every single part of your life, and I encourage you to do so. And remember, 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 style your life. You can have every single thing in life that you want as long as you truly believe it. Peace. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's cool. That's cool. I got a lot of people jumping.